Welcome to our first episode of Camp Cooking. I'm here with Michael Fouchier.
Hello.
Cheers, Mike.
Thank you.
Right, for today's recipe we're going to try something plain and simple, which we love actually. It's Mike's famous
Chips with onion rings.
on the fire,
Yeah.
in a black pot in oil.
Yep. Everyone's always scared of me pouring in the oil, and it's always fun to look at them being surprised that it actually works.
Yeah, and but there's a trick to it. Before putting it into the oil, you need to heat up as
Have a
hot
very, very hot potjie.
to seal the chips, exactly. And also we're going to do plain and simple steak, nothing fancy, just basic camping recipe. So yeah, let's prep our stuff and get this ready.
Yeah.
This is just some steak I got from Spa. And then we've got our white gold here, which because I didn't bring my paper towel for this.
Henry.
Yeah, I know. So the trick is to braaiing steak is to actually get the steak dry before you put it on the grid. Because I've been told it cooks rather than it fries. So tell me, Mike, where's your chimney today?
So I swapped the chimney with my dad's car. He loves the chimney because it's very nimble in town. And for trips like these, coming to the camping site, the Ranger is quite nice, so I swapped with the Ford Ranger.
And you've kitted that thing out properly for Angola trip, actually.
Yeah, we're going to Angola in a month, so...
So can we review that last video which you said that, no, a chimney is a perfect overlanding vehicle?
Yeah, sure. Chimney is fun to drive.
Yeah, about that. Yeah, well, this video is upon request about a few guys asking we should actually take a video of our camp cooking setups, and I thought, well, this is probably the best way just to show something plain and simple. Don't need to be too fancy.
I usually put about 9 to 10 potatoes in the potjie. I think it's a size 3 potjie with 2 liters of oil. And then just before the chips are ready, I put in a few onions.
Oh, you know, we've got actually, which is in my car still. The sweet potatoes.
Oh.
That's the trick. I need to get this quickly. Right, so the trick that I found with sweet potatoes, mixing these with normal potatoes in the pot, that normal potatoes, they're quite long. So from slowest to fastest cooking is usually...
I've never done this, but I would guess potatoes and then after...
Haven't you done sweet potatoes?
No.
I did it last time, so it actually works brilliant. It sweetens up the whole thing a bit. First that, then this, then the onions. Otherwise, the rest just burns and potatoes is all you can eat crispy. So those you need to chop up, keep the skins.
Just giving me more work, eh?
Like usual. But luckily this time we work on a table, not on the ground. Eh? The only problem about cooking chips on the fire is you can never make enough for the whole group. And everyone's always hungry, so they eat the chips before it's actually done for supper with the steak. So this is more of a snack than it is actually a main meal. Okay, now for the spices, I prefer going with simple lemon and herbs, also Italian herbs, and then salt and pepper, some garlic spice as well. I usually throw lots of green stuff on my steak, so I make up for my salad. And then also the recent favorite of mine is actually pepper spice. And then later on, I'll put some oil over the steak, olive oil or any. Good, nice. Just try and rub it in. So while this is done, spiced up, this is going to go in the braai bak to reach proper room temperature because it came out of the fridge. It's cold still. Get that up to temperature while we cook the chips and everything. And then when that's almost ready, we'll put this on the fire for about 10 minutes maximum. Get this medium rare, my preference, and then let that stand for a while, take it off, slice it open, and then we've got steak and chips. Okay, my steak is spiced up. Now we need to heat up the potjie. Get some oil in there. The trick to this is to not use coals. How much heat do you want, Mike?
All of it.
All of it.
The more the better.
The more the better. This is a cast iron pot, very thick.
I want coals at the bottom and I want fire around it.
Yeah. So don't be afraid to give this thing too much heat.
Isn't anything has too much heat.
So another camping trick for gloves. The best ones I've found is to actually use welding gloves.
Cheapest.
Cheapest and the best, insulating. This one's got a little double flappy as well. So when you pick up anything hot like that, for instance, you won't burn yourself, because there's nothing worse than being burnt on a camp.
Yep.
Especially on your feet, so always wear closed shoes. 2 liters canola oil.
So this is a chip skipper, DIY made, handcrafted with a Leatherman.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if it works.
It was a piece of wood.
Oh, this is literally a piece of stick with a spoon,
Yep.
with a basket, a wire mesh basket.
So the reason I made this is it fits perfectly in the potjie. So I can get even the smallest pieces of chippies out. And I can do it much quicker.
If it works, it works.
If it fits, it sits.
Can I quickly test the oil? Let's see if it works. How hot it is. So the trick is, this should be very hot.
And it is.
And it is quite hot. Now, if we get this right, this will put up quite a show. I'm going to stand back a bit, because obviously that's boiling hot oil. Try and put this into one bowl that you can just chuck into the pot.
The show is better and it's much easier and safer.
And it seals better as well.
Yeah.
It's less soggy, more crispy. I hope this table is far enough away. Holy shit, that's hot. Woo! And that's how you seal chippies.
Yep. Perfect.
It looks like a diesel Defender.
I actually didn't expect it to go over that much, but
Luckily the camera is about 3 meters away with the prime lens out. That could have been an expensive mistake. Now, I must say, this is probably the best way. The problem is, if that thing is too hot, then it'll cause runaway. So then the pot will start igniting. Chuck in sweet potatoes next.
hij is nog lekker warm.
And then after that, onions.
Yep.
See, this is the thing about camp recipes. It's there's always input here.
It's never the same.
There's not one chef.
And that's why we don't have a recipe, we have a video.
Yeah.
Trick with the onions is to only add them once the chips are pretty much ready, like slop chips, but not like crispy yet. Otherwise the onions burn and the chips are not ready at the end. So rather get the chips ready and then add the onions.
And also make sure your temperature never drops.
Yeah.
Get flames. If that temperature drops and it doesn't boil anymore, it soaks in the oil and it's soggy. And it's pretty crappy then. Well, it's fine, but it's just not crispy enough.
Yeah.
Mike, can you just chuck some coals under this thing, please?
Yeah, you can get the...
And then I can get the steak on here. My half salad, half steak. You can chuck a lot on here.
You're stealing my chips, goals, eh?
So make sure you've got enough fire for both, eh?
Yeah.
Some butter for the steak.
Almost feel I can give them 2 more minutes. Maybe our timing is perfect.
If you're watching this and you get hungry, I'm sorry about that. chuck a steak on the fire at home and enjoy it with us. So there's usually 2 ways of trying to see if a steak is right. Try and feel it, how soft it is, or cut it open. see how red it is. But then you lose juices, right? My favorite is using a camp thermometer or cooking thermometer to check the inside temperature of the steak. Usually looking at about 50 degrees is my preference to 55. 55 starts getting medium. Currently we're sitting at 37, which is still quite rare. And as soon as that starts hitting 50, I take it off, let it rest, and then that is my perfect medium rare steak. I feel this takes a lot of the guessing work out of making steak, or even the skill, but for me, it's just easier. So why complicate your life, right? Why not?
You know it's going to be how you like it.
Exactly. I'm hitting 49 degrees. I'm going to pull this off. That is great. I'm going to let this rest a bit.
I actually like the sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes are nice, eh? It actually puts a lot of flavor to it. But you can see how brown this is compared to the chips.
Yeah.
Obviously it's thinner.
But I mean, it's perfectly cooked inside.
Really great.
I think a mistake I made with this one is it was a bit too thin. But if crispy is your thing.
Get my chef's knife over here. Ah, that's good.
Oh,
That's
good.
perfect. I love that. And we've got juice as well there. Look. Oh, amazing.
Perfect.
You could probably obviously cook it less or cook it more depending on your personal preference. For me, this is soft, it's juicy, it's not too done, it's not too raw.
Perfect for a campsite.
And if I had some green stuff, I would sprinkle it over that, take a photo, Instagram it.
Exchangeogram.
You know, if you don't Instagram it, did you really cook a meal?
Exactly.
Anyway.
I'm going to steal a bite here.
Yeah, please do. Okay. That's our take on making a simple camp cook meal with chips and steak, Mike and Andrew style.
Okay, bye. Chippies.
Well, that first batch didn't last long, so we fixed up another one for the crew. And if you guys like that video, please like, share, comment on the video below. Tell us what you want to see in the next videos, how we should improve it, what camp recipes you want us to try out. And yeah, please subscribe to the videos. It really helps the channel a lot to grow, and we love making these type of videos. So yeah, see you guys on the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.